So I'm sure you guys are all aware of, cinema and advertising, and it's a great place, great audience. So I think the headlines for us on the next slide, Matt, are it's a big audience and it has a lot of impact, right? And that immersive screen will take you through today, all the things that have been done and all the opportunities ahead. And Matt's done a great job on that so far. But super impressive, 1.3 billion people go to the movies a year. So don't believe anything that people don't go to the movies anymore. They go plenty. All right.
So the question was, from a creative and content standpoint, is what were we doing to affect this amazing audience and all these people that have all this great ad recall and ad likability? And the answer is that 5 years ago, we were running a ton of trivia slides, and for whatever reason, only using about a third of the screen. We were creating literally no original content. We weren't talking to brands. We weren't making branded content. We weren't taking advantage of the audience at all. In talking with some of the folks at Brand Storytelling, they recommended that maybe we should call this just the boring road to excitement, which was our creative story, or
the biggest screen, the best audience, and what's next to think about. So there's a ton to think about on the big screen, and I think today, and we'll show you some of what brands have done today, what Matt has been able to unlock for them, and plenty more to come. It's just a lot out there.
So this is our little presentation on storytelling. It is the 10 rules to creative success in building a brand studio, with the caveat that it's in the field in which I work, within the company that I work for, and the people I work with no budget, no plan, no headcount, and no fanfare. That's sort of how we decided we were going to build a brand studio over the last 5 years. So the first rule for us really was own your own. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. John hired me 5 years ago to come in, and within the first couple of weeks, we started looking at RFPs and seeing if we could respond creatively to some things. And a request came in from a CPG, and at the time, we had a little show with a little robot named Seymour who was on the screen. The show was called Limelight at the time. And they wanted to know if their robot could be juggling some of the products. So, sure, I guess, why not? So I went to John and I said, hey, we got this RFP, I think we can respond to it. I think we can have the little robot juggle some packaging. And he said, yeah, sure, right? We can probably do that. And I said, well, who do I call? And he said, well, I think we have a design studio in Rochester. Call them and see if, there's editors up there. Great. I called them and they said, sounds fun. We have no access to anything in the show. And it turned out the entire show had been farmed out to an outside agency, and they were going to charge us $35,000 to even begin animating our own show every time a brand wanted to activate with us. So the key rule for us right away was to own your own, and to when you're deciding to build a brand studio or a creative department, is to sort of circle the wagons and bring everything in close. And so we did that. And so just really quick, the show we took over was this large 3D show called Limelight, and it had this little robot that was running around. And we internally took everything back over and created our own branding. So we changed the name of the show to Front and Center, went with a nice flat 2D look that was easy for brands to integrate into. We changed the name of the company slightly to Screenvision Media, got a new logo, new animation, and for lack of a better phrase, owned our own.
Thank you. So I think one of the key things, you talked about the movie-going audience, and I'm sure all of you have worked with your own brands, your own publishers, to the extent that you guys are there. You really have to have expertise on the audience, right? And at the end of the day, people are coming to us, we're looking to collaborate, and we take great pride in knowing a lot about moviegoers, not only the movies they go to, but how they think, psychographics, behaviors. And at the end of the day, I think it results in good work, and the work and really that's inspiring Matt and his team as catalysts. But it's really this expertise is something you have to have a great deal of pride in, and you have to be very resilient at it, and something we're at every single day.
So rule number 3, thinking small isn't thinking small. And this was important for us because as we tried to figure out how we were going to build a creative group and a brand studio, and again, we weren't thinking we were going to build a brand studio, we were just trying to solve creative problems effectively and efficiently. Early on, going back to that trivia slide, early on I thought, I told John, I said, hey, there's like 8, 10 times we do trivia in the show. Why don't we just kill trivia and just sell that time, right? Just get rid of trivia. It turned out I was really wrong. People like trivia, and it's sort of infected the pop culture. In fact, we have a little video.
So I should go, but it was good seeing you, Dad.
Before you go, can you run and get me a package of rice from the store?
Sorry, I can't. I'm supposed to meet a friend to see a movie, and I love answering those movie trivia questions they put up before the show. So I'm just gonna head out, I think.
Right? So, master of none, right? Even they were talking about movie trivia. So we couldn't have been, I couldn't have been more wrong about wanting to kill trivia. And that's when we started thinking small might be the way to do this. Why don't we just start with trivia? We're already doing it. Could we involve brands in that? And so we have a quick clip to share with you.
Hey guys, welcome to Name That Flick. So here's how it works. I'm thinking of a movie, and State Farm is here with 3 clues to help you guess which one. Clue 1, it's a remake that takes place 22 years after the original. Hey, no Googling. Clue 2, it has a famous theme song that kinda sounds like this. Kinda was the keyword in that sentence. Still nothing? Clue 3 is a video clue. I hope that Vespa's insured. You guys ready for the answer? It's Jurassic World, hitting theaters June 12th. This has been Name That Flick, brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. I'm Charlie Barons. Follow at Hollywood on Twitter and Facebook for all your entertainment news.
Right? So thinking small isn't thinking small. You know, as a creative, I came in and was like, we're going to make small films and we're going to have actors and producers, and maybe we should just look at trivia first. So it really helped us sort of synthesize what we were trying to do. Rule number 4 is scare yourself, which John and I are about to tell you how we really did that. So, you know, now we've convinced everyone that we can do bigger productions. We get through the trivia phase, we get through the, you know, owning our own show phase. And within the first couple of months, we convinced everybody that we could do studio integrations, having never done a studio integration at Screenvision. And it almost brought the company to its knees. It was, well, we can share the story really with you probably more privately, but it was a rough time for me and John.
I almost got fired. They looked around the room and said, who should we fire? Everybody moved away, and they just pointed at me. Matt left, everybody left. But somehow it worked out. We're still here.
That's legitimately what happened. So this is our first big production. And I know some of you in the room are going to look at it and go, yeah, it's a simple edit. But for us, right, thinking small, starting small, and building into this whole opportunity, this was tough for us. So this was our first ever original production as a studio integration.
An extreme mutation has transformed the ordinary into the extraordinary. The result will be explosive.
We will accept your surrender with respect.
Unleash the blades. Don't miss The Wolverine in theaters July 26th and August 1st, the world premiere of Adidas Spring Blade.
Right? Not rocket science, but it was really tough for us to get through, but we were able to pull off an original production in-house. And everything we do is in-house. We're not taking any outside agencies. We're not, farming anything out. And within a year and a half of the great Wolverine scare of 2013, we were pulling off integrations at a more regular beat. In fact, what I want to share with you really quickly is not only have we gotten to the point where we're doing simple match edits like that, but now we're sharing Maya and 3D files with studios and creating our own animations and our own original stories around films.
All together. Perfect. My phone. Just a second. My phone's way better than yours. Okay, just back together. Perfect. Guys.
The LG G5, the first phone built for fun, and Independence Day Resurgence in theaters June 24th.
Nobody was threatened to be fired after that one. So that was pretty good. And the other thing is, next rule 5 is make some friends. You know, all of this whole business is about relationships, alliances, whether they're people in this room, whether it's people that we meet. I tend to sort of be a little chatty, so I will connect with most people. So next one up is one of the friends that I'd met and had a drink at his bar, and this is what we ended up creating.
I mean, they can make anything sound and look amazing.
Do you have a trailer voice? Everyone's got a trailer voice. What's your trailer voice?
Two guys. They thought they were alone.
I'm ready to watch a movie right now.
That is really good.
That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Until the orange started speaking.
What about you, Wedgehead? Do you have a trailer voice?
Yeah, obviously.
Let me hear it.
You guys, this summer, how was it?
You know, honestly, at first it sucked.
Yeah.
But then when you got to this summer, I got excited because I'm like, we're going to see something.
Okay, so guys, comedy or horror?
I have to say, horror, drama, you name action, there better be comedy.
I like stuff that makes me cry. Isn't that weird? You'd imagine I like comedy. I want to be emotionally moved.
Hey, Greg, when you were auditioning for Star Wars, did you come in and just start making plane noises like wow, da 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 da?
That's what acting is, Wedgie. Is basically a person making a choice. That's all it comes down to. Everyone says, what is acting? What is acting?
Did you just call me Wedgie?
Yeah.
Wedgie.
Yeah.
Like the wedgie, like underwear over the head wedgie?
It's a superpower, dude.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I like it. Thanks, guys.
When you see this haircut, what superpower do you immediately have?
I mean, look, I was a mind reader. I had that superpower. I think that would probably actually help.
Right, like think of a number right now.
Okay.
I got it, 12.
Yes.
See?
That's crazy.
That was my number. That's weird.
Hey, Kevin, I like your jersey. It's like you're playing for your own team.
In the interest of time, we're going to rip through the rest of the rules. But stay in your lane and maybe push the speed limit while you're in there. But particularly with brand studios, we see a lot of land grabbing and people trying to steal work from other agencies and really make a name for yourself. The purpose of a brand studio, at least in our opinion, and ours is called 40-Foot Solutions in Cinema, is that we're of service to the agencies and brands that come to us. We're not trying to steal land from anybody else. We're not trying to stake claims. We're really trying to be very helpful to unlock opportunities in front of cinema audiences. And I think that's the lane brand studios really succeed in, is bringing somebody to the table who speaks a creative's language when you're at the media table. But we're not here to try to steal business. That's not good business to be in. Rule number 7.
Integration. So Matt talked about simple stuff. We have a lot of real estate in the show. And I think what we've been able to do is think about how to repurpose existing inventory. And I think when you do that, you're really organically integrating people into whatever your site is, whatever your show is. And we happen to have 20 minutes. And all these types of things are ways to sort of invent new integrations into our show.
I think we'll skip the videos just because we're running short on time. But 2 quick examples is we've invented original programming within a cinema show that we've been responsible for creating, including a cooking show, movie news. We did an original sitcom in cinema with a viral star, Brittany Furlan. So inventing through integration has been a big part of this. The rule number 8 for us was technology helps tell stories, but it's not the story. If you don't know Sir John Hegarty, we've been lucky enough to have him join Screenvision as the creative chair in residence, and that rule is 100% stolen from him. And the anecdote I always say is that in 1920, when they came out with the Good Humor ice cream truck, it's a really great vehicle for getting product to people when and where they need it. But if they were selling shit on a stick, nobody would care about the truck. So story matters most, and that's what the focus should be.
And always forward. I mean, we talked about a few things today that seem simple. I think we're on the precipice of amazing change. We're trying to be sort of at the forefront. And as a brand studio, a technology studio, we think about creative technology, creative technologists, less about ad tech and more about how do we use technology to create greater stories and continue to look forward. And that's a big challenge of ours. And, we welcome those that are like-minded to be at the table with us.
And finally, our rule in creating a brand studio was be humble. And this goes back to our original point, which is, the power that a brand studio has is to bring a creative voice to the table in a media conversation, but not to land grab. We take what we do very seriously, but we're cordial, creative, and competent, and we want to be good partners. And so being humble is a big part of this.
Thank you guys very much, and enjoy the rest of the conference.